What is going on, Trident community? Evan from Trident Incorporated here, back at you with yet another video talking about the sports card hobby. And today we are going to be giving some tips for attending card shows. Now, card shows are very popular in the sports card hobby. Obviously, there's just these massive shows, right? Displays of sports cards where, obviously the National, I think a lot of people, most people know what the National is, a massive card show, the biggest one in the country easily. But I mean, you got Nashville, you got Dallas. I know Philly has a pretty big one. So there's a lot more though, and there's local ones too. So this applies to all types of different card shows here. And I've been to a number of card shows. I've been to some smaller ones. I've been to some bigger ones. I've never been to a national, unfortunately. I hope to get there at some point, but I've never been there yet. But I still think these tips will apply to both the small and the big card shows. So if you haven't been to a card show yet, or if you've only been to a couple, I think these tips could come in handy. And even if you have been to a card show, I think any chance to get to learn more about card shows and about the sports card hobby, I would say is a welcome opportunity, at least for me. And this is my opinion. These are the tips that I've come up with just from my experiences as well. So if you guys have anything, please leave them in the comment section below. Always more than happy to hear what you guys have to say. I mean, it's definitely something, people helping people, right? So with that being said, let's get right into it. And tip number one I'm going to say is beforehand, before you attend the card show, come up with a plan. What do you want to accomplish? What are you going to be looking for? There's going to be a lot of stuff there, right? Whether it's big or small, there's going to be a lot of cards to look at. What are you trying to accomplish, right? Are you looking for a certain player? Are you looking for a certain team, a certain set, right? What are you trying to do here? And I think coming up with that plan, sort of mapping things out ahead of time of what you'd like to accomplish, I think can make it a lot less overwhelming when you first enter, especially if it is a bigger one, right? If it's a bigger card show in a big building with hundreds of tables and hundreds of dealers and thousands of cards just laid all over the place, having a clear-cut plan of what you want to do and how you want to do it, I think really does help. Another thing about having that plan is I think having a clear budget. Obviously, there's going to be ATMs there, right? Cash is king, really quick. Okay, that's not really a tip, but cash is king at these, especially at these card shows. But if you're looking to have a budget, stick to that budget. If you've planned it out ahead of time and you're looking at something and you think you can spend this amount on cards, stick to that budget. And that's all part of having that plan, right? That's just, I talk about mapping out of what you want to buy, but how much you're going to spend as well. That's part of planning. So I think that's pretty important before you attend a card show. Again, if you're in a smaller card show or a bigger one, I think that's very important. So with that being said, let's get on to the next tip that we have, and it is be personable, right? Like the dealers are there, strike up a conversation with them. You may get a better deal at times. You honestly might, like, depending on what the guy is, who the guy is, what type of day he's having, just ask him, how's the show been going, right? Just something that easy, something that quick, just to strike up some sort of conversation, build that relationship, right? We talk a lot about networking and building the relationships in the hobby, because it's like, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, basically, type of thing. And I think at card shows, that's a quite similar thing. When you're able to strike up a conversation and get along with somebody, you pick out a couple of cards, and I think they'll help you out on the price most of the time. And not everybody, it's not a guarantee. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, if you just talk to them, they'll give you a better price. That's not always the case, but I think it helps. So, like I said, they're humans too. And I think they're there to sell cards, sure, but I think they're also there to build the relationships, build their customer base as well. So it doesn't hurt. It really does not hurt to, talk to them. Just simply have a conversation and build that rapport with them. The third tip that we are going to say is look in the bargain bins. Okay, look in the bargain bins. There's going to be a lot of tables there with a lot of bargain bins. There is going to be a lot of stuff there, and it's a lot of opportunities to buy and find stuff. Now, I mean, I will say those take time, and I understand that some people don't like to sit there and look through a box and You look through a box of 200 cards and you only pick out 6 of them. Like I get it. But at the same time, I do think they are your friend, as we say often on here, right? Like I'm a big bargain box guy, and at these card shows, there are a lot of opportunities to buy in the bargain boxes. So I do think it's a pretty good opportunity to find some undervalued cards that you can flip for profit. A lot of times, the bargain boxes will be filled with stuff that the dealers just don't really want to deal with, right? Whether it's a $8 card and they're like, oh, I'll just throw it in a $2 box. Oh, okay, that's an opportunity for you. You bundle that up with something else, you get a better price. So check out the bargain boxes. A lot of times that shows they will have them. So I think that's a pretty big one as well. Tip number 4, have fun. Like they're just, I know it's simple, but these card shows are fun. They're a lot of fun. I mean, they're sometimes, especially the big ones, right? The big ones can be overwhelming. I've known a lot of people that have gone to the national I've talked to, and they say and you hear it in interviews too, it's very overwhelming, right? You can't see it all in one day, and you likely won't see it, especially at the national. You won't see it all in one day. But I think it's just have fun, have a good time at it. Enjoy what you do, and because at the end of the day, it's everybody's coming together for one thing at these shows, right? And it's the love for the sports card hobby, whether you're buying or selling. And also, I mean, you can have opportunities to sell there as well. So I wanted to mention that too. A lot of dealers will be open to selling or trading or buying your cards off of you. So there's opportunities there, as well as if you're looking to move some of your inventory. Oh man, I've been sitting on this card, I haven't been able to reach anybody to sell it. You're about to be in a spot with potentially hundreds of potential buyers. So I think that's a good opportunity there. But again, have fun. I always have a blast at card shows. I think they're a lot of fun. They're a good time, and I think it's just a really fun atmosphere. And again, it's fun to be around all of those cards and everything. So with that being said, let's do a quick rundown. Number 1, have a plan, have a budget. I think that's very important. Number 2, be personable. Build up that network, build up that relationship with the dealer. Even if it doesn't help you get a better price, I'm not saying just to do it to get a better price, but just talk to them, about their experiences. And I hear all types of stories about grading, horror stories, or, oh, I bought this and that, and I did this and that. Like, just trying to get to know more people in the hobby. I think it's a pretty cool thing. 3, take a look at the bargain boxes. They're probably going to be there, and there's a chance you could find something pretty darn good. And number 4, have a good time. It is meant to be there for fun. This is a hobby, folks. Like, it's a business, and there's people that make a lot of money off of it and do a lot of big money deals. But at the end of the day, it is a sports card hobby, and we are all here to enjoy this hobby. So I think having fun is very important. That was our tips, though. And again, there's a lot more. So I'm curious to hear if you guys have any specific tips in the comment section below. But thank you all for the support on Trident Incorporated, Trident Inc. on Whatnot. We really appreciate it. And check out the store for the Anytime auctions. We are constantly updating the Anytime auctions. There are a ton of heat in there. I can almost guarantee you go on Trident Inc. on Whatnot, you go to the Anytime auctions, you're going to find at least one thing that you're like, man, I got to have this. So go over to Trident Inc. on Whatnot, check out the Anytime auctions, and get those bids in. But thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and keep collecting.